Welcome to the Pinch to Zoom podcast. I'm Stetson.
And I'm Gabe.
And in this episode, we're going over some news we missed coming into the new year, 2019, as well as a recap of CES, the Consumer Electronics Show.
Yeah, this is episode 2, and we're starting off with a bang.
It's going pretty well. Should we talk about some of the things we've learned building a podcast so far?
Yeah, this is episode 2, but it feels like we've had to reinvent the wheel practically to get here. If you don't remember on the last episode, or if you didn't listen to it, welcome. This is the Pinch to Zoom podcast. But since then, we've had to learn a lot about podcasting because we had to learn how to host it, where to host it, how to create a logo about 6,000 times so that we have the right logo. Stetson can tell you all about that.
Oh my goodness. So I was using Sketch to create a vector logo for our podcast, and that went through, no joke, 30 to 35 iterations, and we ran into different problems. It was kind of a very creative and fluid process, but I'm really happy with what the end result turned out to be.
Yeah, it's looking good. And if you're not listening to this episode right after we release it, but possibly a week later, 2 weeks later, we could have a very different logo by then because it is very much in flux at the moment. And I created the intro, and that could be a very different one by episode 3, by episode 10. Who knows? We're just kind of going with it. Give us your feedback on our social media. The handle is hopefully on all of the platforms. We've got Pinch to Zoom Pod. Or it might just be Pinch to Zoom if it's cut off. But yeah, search for that. And our Gmail address to send us questions and stuff like that is pinchtozoompodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah, it's definitely a fun, creative process, and I'm looking forward to growing.
A process?
Yeah.
A podcess. It's possibly because it's a podcast, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing where it goes.
I like that joke. That got a 1-star review from you. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thanks. Anyways, let's get into this episode. Welcome to 2019, everyone. This is the last year of the teens in the 20s.
And we're growing up.
Yeah. It's going by so fast. So already we're only 2 weeks into the year, and there's a bunch of news that's already happened that we missed since our last episode. First thing is that we know when the Samsung S10 is coming out.
Yeah, that is going to be February 20th. We're looking for a Galaxy S10 announcement. I don't know about release date yet. We're thinking it's going to be a very strong phone from Samsung, something to rival what we saw from Honor, the Honor View 20 at CES. We're thinking rumors are pointing towards a punch-out for the camera on the front LCD, or front OLED, I should say. That would be really cool to see, a new design trend for the 2019 year.
Yeah, that is that better than the notch? I'm not really sure.
I think it's up in the air. In my opinion, it's hard for developers because now you have to design for a notch, for no notch, and for now a punch-out. I feel like that's a lot, but in the end, not a lot of content is put up there, and it does create, in my opinion, a very beautiful design, so it could be a cool thing to see.
Yeah, I think ultimately this is just kind of a step in the process of getting to a completely, bezel-less and no camera interfering with the full screen type design, but yeah, it's okay, I think.
Yeah, it's definitely really cool. And this could be the death of the headphone jack as well.
Yeah, and we're also going to see the launch of or possibly just a bigger announcement surrounding the Galaxy F, which is their foldable phone, which is going to cost $1,800. Yeah.
Is that a phone at that point?
That's, might as well just get a car and put a screen on it and call it a phone.
That's definitely a very huge leap in a very different direction. I don't know if it's going to be a good product or if it's going to fold itself up and become a flop of the year.
Oh,
but
there we go. That's what it is. The Galaxy flop. All right, let's move on because this is, of course, quick news. There might have been an intro at the beginning if I got around to creating it, or if not, I'll just say this is quick news, and that's the intro. The next thing is there's been some leaks surrounding AirPods 2 and AirPower. Rumors that they're possibly starting production on AirPower, and there's already been some leaks that AirPod 2s are ready to go pretty much.
I would think, yeah, AirPod 2s have probably been in development for a while, and Apple is likely holding off on the release for AirPower to come out, because that was the huge feature where you have one wireless charging mat, you put your phone down, it charges, you put your watch down, it charges, you put AirPods down, and they start charging.
Yep.
And I think Apple is really waiting for everything to come together to release it all at once.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. It is kind of odd because a lot of times they do release stuff, a little bit like before they're ready and kind of do the beta version of something or the beta version. Is it beta or beta?
It's beta.
Beta, okay.
Yeah.
I think it should be beta.
Start a new trend.
It's a better way to say it.
You heard it here first, folks.
Yeah, no. But yeah, I think that's probably the right move on them. Release it all together. Maybe we'll see a February launch or March. Probably most likely March.
That would be awesome. And you're right. It was interesting. They were holding off on the wireless charger because a lot of people have now bought wireless chargers, like the Samsung ones, or we talked about Peel or Nimble. But, I think this will be a strong release from Apple, and people who can afford it and obviously love the products are going to be really happy with what this has to offer.
Yeah, and also possibly, just quickly to put out there, we do have rumors of an iPhone or an iPad Mini 5 possibly, and a new low-cost iPad, but not really much on that. So that's quick news. So that's all you get. Next thing is the SpaceX layoffs. And actually, even just today, Tesla also laid off. 7% of Tesla's workforce was laid off today, and 10% of SpaceX.
Yeah, I mean, I think
pink slip.
When you're trying to grow so quickly, sometimes you do need to just keep the employees kind of keep who's absolutely necessary, and sometimes you do have to, unfortunately, slim down and let people go. And also, I saw on Reddit kind of a joke for this is, SpaceX, they designed a reusable rocket. So now that it's made, you don't need any of the engineers. It's reusable.
Yeah, no, I think it's kind of Tesla is trying to stay ahead of the competition, and they're trying to grow so fast, like you said. So a lot of times they hire a ton in one department, and then they realize, all right, we've designed it. We no longer need a lot of the employees in that department. Let's, unfortunately for the employees, yeah, they can probably find work elsewhere. They're really all smart, talented people, but yeah.
And it's no secret that the finances have been tough for Tesla in the past, and they just recently started having positive earnings for their quarters, I believe. So, it's just a necessary step in their evolution and their growth.
Yeah, indeed. Next thing on quick news is the December stock market crash. Now, this was, if you're into stocks at all, it is a painful reminder. Sorry that I brought it up again. Hopefully the stock market's going better. It has been up a little bit. But the big thing that kind of is tech related more, because we're not really focusing on finance too much, but is the fact that Apple cut their guidance and expectations for their earnings in this coming quarter from, I think it was 89 million to 83 million or something like that. And that's a big deal for Apple because they're obviously one of the biggest tech companies out there. And the big thing that was around why they did that was possibly the sales in China.
I think too, Apple kind of shot themselves in the foot with this. Looking back, they offered a $29 battery replacement for their old phones. They released iOS 12, which improved the performance of old phones, and they released some of the most expensive iPhones ever.
True.
So we kind of had this trio of factors coming together that I think caused people to realize, hey, I can get my battery replaced. My phone is now faster. It feels new. I don't need to upgrade. The upgrades are more expensive. Contracts have kind of dwindled away. So now you are paying full price, even though it is kind of over the course of 24 months. But it just seemed like an interesting decision for Apple. And I think the battery replacement program and the new prices definitely reflected consumer interest and resulted in the fewer sales.
No, that makes perfect sense. I didn't think of it like that before, but yeah, it was kind of the perfect storm of all these factors coming together and people saying, yeah, probably don't need a new iPhone this year. I can wait till next year. And yeah, I mean, I think maybe in the long run that might be good because they build brand loyalty. People continue to like iPhones, but in this short-term thing, it definitely has hurt their stock.
Yeah, it really went down.
Yeah. And the final thing, the thing I'm actually probably the most excited about, is the Sony just announced their new a6400 camera. Now, this is a mirrorless camera, 24 megapixel sensor, 4K video. Not as good as the a6500, and obviously not as good as the full frame, A7 III, A7R Mark III, stuff like that. But this is deemed as the go-to camera right now for vloggers. We'll have to see how it actually performs. But the nice thing and why people are saying that is because it has a 180-degree flip-up display. So when you're vlogging, you can get that awesome shot of yourself and see if you're in frame.
That's huge. This is something people have been wanting from Sony for a while to include in all of their cameras.
Yeah.
And, Canon has held a dominant market share in that area, I think. And it's nice to see something fresh from Sony.
Yeah, and I mean, $900 with a lens, that's a pretty good deal.
I think it's a great deal. I think this will perform well from them and introduce a lot of new people into the Sony world and into the creative world.
Yeah, so that was it for quick news. Yeah, I like that.
Now moving on to CES
Yeah.
2019.
It's a very news-filled episode.
Yes.
But we got to catch up on the news, keep you guys up to date.
First of all, a quick background. What is CES? CES stands for the Consumer Electronics Show. From the website, ces.tech. .tech is now a thing.
Yeah.
It's the world's gathering place for all those who thrive on the business of consumer technologies. It has served as the proving ground for the innovations and breakthrough technologies for 50 years, the global stage where next generation innovations are introduced to the marketplace. CES started June 24th, 1967.
Yeah. All right, you just stole all my notes. Thank you.
Oh.
I think you're also are you getting sponsored by, I see you have a pile of cash that says from the Consumer Electronics Show. That they just paid you to say all that and advertise them. Wow.
We talked about bringing sponsors onto the show.
I can't believe you. How did you do this to me? No, but yeah, it's founded in 1967. I think I read it started in New York City. Then it started doing a biannual thing for the next 30 years or so, where it was in Chicago in the summer and then Vegas in the winter. Then the one in Chicago got less popular and shows like E3 popped up in the summer and started taking some of that. So they just went to annual show in Vegas, kicks off the year, with a bang. They say they have over 180,000 attendees, and it takes 18 days to set up, run, and take down, which is the largest show in Vegas. So,
that's huge. That's huge. And to be clear, this is owned and produced by the Consumer Technology Association.
Yes, it is. So overall, before we get into the specific products, what was your takeaway from the whole show?
I think CES this year continues to emphasize we're moving into an age of Internet of Things where everything is connected.
Yeah.
And to me, it was, I guess, kind of whelming. There were some highlights and there were some products that didn't seem so good. Definitely things to look forward to this upcoming year, but nothing groundbreaking at this event, I would say.
Yeah, that tends to be the thing, I think, with CES is there's a lot of stuff also that's not really being released, but just kind of being showcased of this is what we could do, like future products. For me, it was a bit underwhelming, mainly because I'm not so, about the consumer electronics. I more want, creative stuff. And for that, you don't get a lot of people coming to this show for that. They more go to NAB or Photokina or stuff like that. But you did get a lot of really cool and groundbreaking stuff that made you think, hey, how can this be used in the future? Does it have creative uses as well? Also, the other thing I think is a lot more companies are going to, make the big spectacle type Apple, releases where they can get the whole spotlight rather than releasing products on a week when there's, 500,000 other products coming out.
It just gets buried in the news.
I mean, like Sony released a week after they released the A6400, like we were just talking about, rather than releasing it during CES.
Yeah, that's a very interesting strategy. And you're definitely right. A lot of what we see at CES is never actually comes to market. You can't actually buy it. So the things you can buy and experience are really cool. So Gabe, what are some of your top gadgets? What were some of your highlights from CES, even though it was a little underwhelming for you as a creative?
All right, so this is probably, I actually didn't read about this product during while the show was going on. I kept a pretty close eye on it, but I somehow missed this. And then when it was coming to do this episode, I was looking back and I saw this, and it seems like a small product, but it's actually something that I've been thinking would be coming in the next 5 years. And this is a move toward it. So it's the Dolby Dimension wireless headphones. Now get ready, $600 price tag. All right.
Oh, that's fun.
Now, yeah, for headphones, that definitely is a little high. I probably would not be buying these, even though I love headphones.
That's very high.
I know, yeah. But what they do is that they have the ability to filter out the noise from around you and put it into your headphones. So they're meant to kind of be worn around the house rather than traditional headphones, which are kind of like while you're by yourself. So you can be wearing these, when you're in your house, and they can pair up to 8 devices. And it has a tracking technology that, get this, you can have it actually in a physical location where the sound is coming from. So say you have it paired with your TV or paired with like a speaker, you can have that set so it sounds like it's coming from a physical location in the room, right? If you turn your head, it won't just stay like playing the regular way. It will actually sound like you have the headphones off and you're listening to it from a speaker that's someplace in your room.
That is amazing technology. Here's a question for you, though.
Yeah.
Why would I want to be wearing headphones when I could just have the sound coming from the TV or coming from the speaker?
Well, this is what I've been saying for like the past couple months, is what I think is AirPods and headphones like that eventually will get enough battery in them and enough, processing capacity where they can be doing stuff like this in that small form factor, and then we're always going to be wearing headphones essentially, so that we can be listening to each other because they'll filter out the noise or be able to pass through audio, but at the same time we can just whisper like, Alexa, what's the weather like? Or, thank God I muted the Alexa that's in this room, and it will be able to tell us that right in our ears, so we'll always have a personal oh no, there's an Alexa out in the next room over. If you can hear that, I don't know if the mic's picked that up.
I want to congratulate Amazon for making such a sensitive and responsive product. And also apologize to our listeners for triggering their, I won't say the word, but their devices.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. I'm so sorry. But yeah, that's basically, these headphones, they're a little bit kind of like who's really going to use them. But the fact that you can pair 8 devices, it filters in the sound from the outside world so you can wear them when you're around other people, and that you can have physical locations for the sounds coming from is almost like you're not wearing headphones. So they're like the most headphones that aren't headphones, right?
It's a very interesting idea. I have some questions about it because I know the Sony, I think it's the SM3s, or like Sony makes some really nice headphones, and you can adjust the noise cancellation on them, and they can also let in ambient sounds around.
But this isn't letting in ambient sound. It actually pipes in the sound. So it uses the mics to send in the sounds.
I think
outside.
Sony's might do something similar, but
yeah,
it's definitely interesting. For $600,
yeah, it's a little.
We're gonna have to wait and see what the reviewers say. I think $350, is kind of a better price for many people.
Still pretty pricey, but
still expensive, but more of the standard for high-end noise canceling headphones.
Yeah. All right, what's your top product, or just one of your products that you thought was cool?
I'm going to go with the Samsung Micro LED TVs.
Okay.
So, the concept here is, imagine you can build a TV. So, Micro LED panels, they're just square panels, and you fit them together, and you can just construct the exact TV size, aspect ratio, resolution you're looking for. So it's kind of like build your own TV. You can have it vertical for Instagram stories. You can have information displayed in various places in your house. A really, really cool.
So would you say it's kind of like a modular TV?
Yeah, it's a modular TV. And at the CES show, Samsung had this displaying probably one of the largest TV screens of all time. It was huge. And I think this was...
Was that their smart wall type thing?
Yeah, it was their huge wall. And I think this presents a really cool opportunity for people to kind of build their home theater, or to incorporate it in different aspects of their home, or even businesses who want to create an experience. These TVs remain very flexible and adaptable to whatever the use case may be.
Yeah, I did read about this. I do think that this is also one of those things that's very much a future product, because even though they have obviously working examples of it, and it's going to be on sale, I think, in this year, isn't it going to be?
I can't answer that.
I'm not quite sure either, but it's one of those things that's definitely going to be out of almost everyone's budget, most likely. And that's honestly one of my worst products that I just briefly want to mention is the fact that there are so many 8K TVs. I mean, it's so impractical right now. I know they can do 4K upscaling, but people are just now getting 4K content, and they're selling these 8K TVs on 80-inch screens, and it's like, who needs that?
I completely agree. My philosophy towards resolution is kind of what Apple has. So when you have a screen pixel density where the retina of your eye can't see the individual pixels, that's enough.
Yeah.
I think for TVs, 4K is perfect. That's all we need. And what we really need to focus on is producing 4K content that can even take advantage of that, and also focusing on HDR and just other things and improvements that TVs could have. I don't think 8K is it.
Yeah, no, I definitely I mean, there's definitely the attraction for TV makers to always be like, and this TV has the most pixels with the best brightness or whatever. But yeah, it's just kind of a bit of a showing off type thing that they do.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
No.
All right, what's your next product, Gabe?
My next thing is kind of not a specific product, but a whole suite of products. I know a lot of people have been seeing online these porch pirates, what they're called, right? And it's basically people stealing packages off people's porches. There was that Mark Roberts video.
Rober. I think it's pronounced Rober.
I think it's pronounced Rubber. Mark Rubber. No, yeah. He did this video. He's a genius at creating stuff.
Engineer. He's an engineer who works at NASA. And yeah.
And in his free time, he entertains people by creating really crazy contraptions and stuff. So anyways, long story short, he created this product that was able to like spin glitter out of this box. Looked like a regular box, but when it was stolen by the porch pirates and they opened it in their car or whatever, it put glitter everywhere and made a really loud noise, released fart spray. Yeah, it was a video that got a ton of views, so brought this to the attention of a lot of people. But anyways, that was a segue to get to the Amazon keyless entry, which is something that they actually released, I think, about a year ago. This whole concept, and basically what it is that when you order a product from Amazon and it's delivered, they can actually the delivery people can put it right into your house because Amazon will have access through the camera that with the Amazon Cloud they can see into your house, and they can also unlock the door. And so, boom, right in. Yeah, it's a little scary, but at this CES they released the ability now they can open your garage door because they have the garage door opening technology, and they're expanding it to businesses. So,
my thoughts on this, I definitely think I had no idea, but I guess in some areas, porch product package theft is a big deal. And
yeah, it's bigger cities, I think, definitely, and a lot in California.
I actually see this as a really great idea and innovation. I think in the future we'll kind of look back and this will slowly transition to be a new norm. And it seems weird now, but I think it's got some good intentions behind it, and I think it could work out.
Yeah, I think what it represents though is more and more people are having stuff delivered, right?
That's a good
ordering on rather than we used to be like, all right, you buy online for a couple things, but now it's like people are just routinely every day having stuff delivered to their house. Granted, I don't really love how much waste that generates. That's a story. That's a different, type of thing we'll tackle sometime. But I do think we need to figure out, the security of the stuff that's being delivered.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Yep. Thank you. Thank you for agreeing with it. It validates me. Yes. Yes. In my little diary, Stetson agreed with me today.
Next up, I'm going to talk about laptops. And the laptops I'm going to bring up, Razer.
Yep.
Razer put an OLED panel in a laptop.
Ooh, how big of a laptop?
I think this is like a 13-inch.
All right, so kind of regular size.
It's like a respectable gaming laptop. And that's really cool to see. I love OLEDs. The contrast ratio is amazing. They do have their problems, so we'll have to see how it holds up. And
don't they have like burn-in?
Yeah, burn-in problems, and then you can't have a high refresh rate, and all the individual pixels are backlit. Yeah. It is a really nice panel to look at, but perhaps not the optimal solution for a mobile display. Mm-hmm. So, follow up to that, Asus, the ROG, they put a 240 hertz display in a laptop.
Wow.
Let that sink in. 240 hertz.
And hertz isn't it cycles per what is it?
Cycles per second?
Cycles per second is how it is. So hertz is 1,000 cycles per second, right?
Gabe, you're asking some really great questions right now.
All right.
Well. To summarize, the cursor movement looks buttery smooth.
Basically, most TVs are 60 hertz or 120?
Yeah, usually. So they're typically 60, and then they will have a setting for like 120. But instead of like
actually doing it,
instead of repeating frames, they'll like make new frames. It's a whole mess.
If you get a really good TV, especially for a gaming or like a gaming display, it's probably 120 hertz. So 240, double that
in a laptop is awesome.
It's crazy.
Too. Yeah.
Wow, that is. Was there another laptop, or is that it?
Those are really the two laptops.
Okay.
I guess I could sneak in a similar line. Samsung had that space monitor I was talking to you about earlier. Yeah. This is a really cool concept where it's a space-saving monitor on your desk. It has like a little foot that clips onto the back of the desk, and it will sit up vertically, flush against the wall. And then you could also kind of lean it forward, almost like it has a built-in monitor arm.
Yeah, I don't know why there's some products that are released that it's like, how did we just now get this product? Like,
Yeah. I think it's a great idea, and I'd love if it was more adjustable in some way, but the way it functions, I think, really opens up a lot of desk space. It looks really beautiful and clean, and it's a product that I think a lot of people will actually enjoy, and it is coming to market, so you'll be able to buy it.
yeah.
It'll start at $400 for a 27-inch and $500 for a 32-inch, and these are 4K monitors.
See, that's not that bad of pricing either. So I think, yeah,
It's really good.
yeah, that's pretty
And
reasonable.
It's very sizable. Like, that's a huge monitor.
Yeah, and it looks nice and it's functional. So I think, yeah, I've been in the market for a monitor for a long time. So I might keep an eye on that for sure. My next product, and probably the one I'm most excited about, but is the least creative type product of all, is, guess what? The Impossible Burger 2.0.
Oh, I like it. Okay.
I'm a vegetarian. I've been a vegetarian for my whole life. I know you're a less meat eating style, or you've just been.
I think, what's the term? Like flexitarian?
Yeah.
Like, I'm aware of how terrible meat is on the environment and the industry, but in my opinion, it also tastes extremely good.
No, I think that's. I've been very lucky that I never experienced meat, so for me it's like I'm not missing anything. So something like the Impossible Burger, which I've tried the Impossible Burger, I've tried the Beyond Burger. Both are very good. I personally like the Beyond Burger better, but this Impossible Burger, oh gosh, I can't even say it. This Impossible Burger 2.0, I'm just getting so excited about it that I can't even speak.
It's impossible to say.
It is impossible to say. But they released this one at CES, which seems odd, right?
It's a burger. This is a edible food item.
Yeah,
and
at
it's
CES.
a version number. A version 2.0.
Right, 2.0. It's like this
Our
is,
food is numbered.
You buy it and then you're like, oh wait, I gotta update my Impossible Burger.
Beta testing.
Downloading the new update. Doop, doop, doop. Anyways, but so they released this product there, and it actually won the top tech of CES 2019 from Digital Trends and several other websites, and actually at the CES show itself. And someone said that it's a triumph of food engineering, which is the emerging media editor for Digital Trends. That was like his quote that he said. So I think, it's pretty awesome that you get products like this coming out to a consumer electronics show. And it's just exciting, and I can't wait to try it.
Yeah, it's really cool seeing the technology they've been able to put into food, and it's definitely addressing one of the largest problems I think we're facing today as a society.
Yeah, definitely trying to get people off meat and figuring out ways to, still feed that need, literally.
Yeah, and, supporting local farmers or...
I don't know if this really does that. But.
Well, I mean, as opposed to just switching to
Yeah.
vegetarian, supporting local farmers and grass-fed beef, that's another great thing.
Definitely an option, but yeah.
This was cool to see.
Yeah. Do you have anything else for good products, or are we going to move to bad?
Lenovo Google Assistant smart home clock. This is a brilliant idea. It's basically take a Google Home Mini, add a touchscreen and an alarm clock. Boom, there you go. That's what this is. It's in your room. It's great. It's convenient. Just gives you a nice interface for interacting with your smart home devices.
Yeah, Lenovo's really been turning up the game on smart displays. They don't really have any Alexa-based ones. Oh no. I'm so sorry, people. But they do have a lot of ones for Google. They had one this past year, and they've released a couple, I think, at this CES.
It was really cool to see. They're like home hubs. And I think this is an emerging market where people kind of need an interface to control all their home devices. Yeah. And we have voice assistants now, but we're very visual creatures, and I think having a visual display would be nice as well. So it was cool. Only $79.
Yeah,
so
that's a pretty good deal.
Reasonable. And I would say wait for this Black Friday to pick that up.
Yeah, definitely. You'll get a smart tech dropping like it's hot.
Yeah, we know it'll go on sale.
Yeah. And my last thing personally that I thought was kind of cool. I'm not a big fan of pop sockets. I personally, as you can see, and the audience can't, you can verify I don't have one on my phone right now.
This is true.
But that fact that OtterBox and the company, which is PopSocket, I guess they've trademarked it and everything. They teamed up and they created and released the Otter Plus Pop case, which has I don't know if you want to look it up and see what it looks like, but
yeah, I saw it. It has a indentation in the actual case to accommodate the dimensions of the pop socket.
Yeah.
So your phone will sit flush on a table. This is like oddly cool to see.
Yeah. It's going to be released at $60. It's coming out this spring. Unfortunately, Android users, sorry, only iPhone cases at the moment. But yeah, you pick it up for $60. And then if you want to get a new pop socket, they call them the tops, is what they call them for this product. And those are $8. So you can, if you want to go with the bejeweled one for when you're going out in the town and having a night with the girls, boom, you got that. Or if you want to get, a little more leather type one for a fancier look or whatever, you got that one, slip it in. So I think it's a pretty cool thing. I can't believe it took this long to get some collaboration going, so it wasn't just sticking this thing on the back. And this would be the one thing that would get me to actually possibly get one.
It's so overpriced, though.
Yeah.
It's a brilliant marketing strategy.
Most cases you figure from OtterBox and places like that are like $45, $50, so.
It's unbelievable. People, you're overpaying on phone cases.
But, you're protecting a $1,000 product.
Says the man with I think this is a $50 Apple leather case.
Yeah, and you go through one of those a day, right?
Yeah, I have a stash.
Yeah, he literally puts it on. All right, day's over, chucks it out, gets another one. Yeah.
Yep. Okay, let's move on to the worst.
This is the fun part. Yeah, people, we know this is what you've been waiting for, or you've just gone by now and left because you couldn't wait. But hopefully, if you're still here, this is the exciting part. The worst tech, and possibly just the kind of like, like tech. You know that emoji, the kind of like hands up, like,
oh yeah,
huh? That's kind of like
why
just was this released?
Why?
That's kind of what this tech is.
Gabe,
so,
what's number one on your list?
Number one on the why, and I've put it in mainly to make the pun. I think that this one's probably the crappiest product. Do you know where I'm going?
I think I know that this product is going down the drain.
Yeah, basically it's the Kohler Numi Smart Toilet. That's Numuni, sorry. And guess what? It's a 2.0. So there was one released last year too. So they're not quitting on this idea.
And that one went under the radar?
Yeah. No, I think it was over the radar, but it's like, yeah. Anyways, so the specs on this, Alexa incorporated. You can talk to Alexa. Oh no, I keep saying this.
This was not thought through.
Yeah, basically, if you've not muted your smart speaker by now, you are in deep trouble. But so you do have the Amazon AI assistant incorporated. Guess what? There's also surround sound and dynamic lighting, so you can feel like you're in the middle of the jungle. You can have that, that ambient and have some nice like low lighting, so you can get into your mood. If that's the mood that you need to be in when you're on the toilet, you can be in that mood. Guess what? It also has a cleaning and drying functions and a heated seat.
Heated seat is nice.
That is pretty nice. Yeah, but is it $7,000 nice?
That's how much it is?
Yes, $7,000.
Wow.
So if you want this, you better start saving up.
To be fair, I go to the bathroom every day. Right?
It is, I guess.
Right? And, you think about that. All right, so I go every day. It's like $2 a day. Maybe in 1 year, 2 years. And how long is that?
Stop. It's thinking like that got this product to be released. They also released a bunch of other stuff for the bathroom, like smart mirrors, and they're really trying to bring smart tech into the bathroom, which is a place that hasn't been.
I guess, cool, maybe.
I'm literally, if I go into a bathroom that has smart tech, I'm throwing it all out of the bathroom. So I'm doing the opposite of them. They're combating me.
I see you will not be picking this up.
No, I'm not a big fan of it. I don't know. Maybe down the road I'll be a hypocrite and I'll be, lining up and only going to the bathroom on smart toilets.
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
Not.
My number one.
Yep.
Is the Royal Flex Pi. I think I'm saying that right.
Okay.
It's PAI. This was the foldable phone. Tablet? We saw at CES from Royal.
What other products does Royal have?
They have some smartwatches. They have a few other things.
Are they a Chinese company or?
I think so. I didn't look too much into them.
That's okay. Sorry.
It's a very curious product they have presented themselves with. It is a $1,318 phone with a foldable display that basically folds out into a tablet. Ooh. And this is one of those just why products, right? So you fold it over. Reviewers said it feels like the phone is breaking, like you're gonna break the actual unit when you.
I mean, that's what I look for in a phone personally.
You want
whenever you use it, you want it to feel like it's about to break.
And then when it's folded over, your hands are touching everything. You're accidentally opening things. the poor developers have to design for like 2 different sizes. Then you have a screen on the back. And the worst part of all is, I don't know, it's the Surface laptop, I think that is,
Yeah.
where it folds over and has that hinge with a huge gap.
Yeah.
Suddenly you have a device with a huge gap.
Yikes. Is this foreshadowing for what the Galaxy F is going to be?
I don't know.
I hope not. Hopefully Samsung is going to...
They figured it out.
Yeah,
They're not the royal company with the Flex Pie.
I think they were probably just trying to beat Samsung to market.
Be first,
Yeah.
get the press. Yeah.
Yeah.
I still wonder greatly about foldable phones, tablets. There's definitely an application somewhere for foldable technology. I'm just not sure if this is it.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think, hopefully in the future we'll see it. I personally would be more apt or like excited to see, from Avatar, the movie, James Cameron movie, I still remember the people working in the lab have those kind of tablets that are completely see-through, and they just have like a little metal on the edges on like kind of like the top and bottom. What would it be? And I think that would be pretty cool.
That looks
And they do
awesome.
have some, I know, see-through screen tech there's out there. So maybe, I don't know, that I would be more excited for that than foldable, but we'll see.
It's an evolution.
Yeah, it is. All right, the next thing is also another house item, and it's the Foldmate, or Foldymate. I'm not really sure how to pronounce it. It's Foldimate, Foldymate, I guess. Yeah. But anyways, are you tired of folding your t-shirts or folding your pants or folding whatever? Well, now this $900 product can do it for you, but only partially for you, because you have to take your clothes out of the laundry hamper or out of the thing you washed them, and then clip them into it so that it can then fold it. It folds a t-shirt in about 5 seconds, and it's about the size of a washer or dryer.
All right, so what's the value proposition here? You're saving people time folding, but wait a minute, doesn't it take longer to clip it in, and then it takes 5 seconds?
Yeah, I don't really get it. I think if they could ever get it where you could just, dump your clothes into it and it could just pick through it and, automatically, fold it like that would be pretty awesome. But the fact that you still have to be a central part of the whole folding process.
You still have to be there.
Yeah, you still have to be doing the picking up, clip in, and then it folds. So, yeah, I think this is a really pointless thing. It's huge, too.
You do it like twice, and you're like, I can do it faster than this, and then
Yeah.
you never use it again.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not good at folding clothes, but...
It doesn't
No,
matter.
no.
No, just no.
No,
That's
sorry.
not even a Y product.
Yeah.
That's just
That's a no.
that's a gentle no.
That's a pass. All right. Do you have something as good as that? Or
I mean, that's pretty good.
yeah,
We already kind of touched on the 8K TVs.
Yeah.
I don't think we need them. And what I dislike about them, it's really cool how they have the ability to upscale content.
yeah,
But the new quantum processor 8K that Samsung announced, for example, it's basically making everything you're plugging into your TV artificial. Like, it's processing it. And
you're not actually getting what the real image is.
yeah. So like, what I appreciate about movie theaters is that's how the movies are designed to be shown. Like, you see the colors, you get the sound experience, and with these TVs, it's like altering that, and you get something called the soap opera effect, which is where it's like adding frames, it's creating pixels, and it just
Yeah.
looks fake. So I bet you can turn it off, but
Yeah, that seems really like a bad decision, because if you want it, how can you? Yeah, I don't know. That seems
you should just like, it should just be a monitor, right?
Yeah.
Like, why even process
especially.
the
I
image?
mean, maybe for like stuff you created, or for like YouTube stuff, maybe if it's not the best quality, but for movies where they're literally spending millions of dollars to create this movie, the director has a clear vision of what he wants it to look like, and then you run it through this thing, and it's like, let me just change this a little bit. It
Yeah.
just changes. Imagine the processors get so advanced. You go to watch Inception or something like that, and your little thing, you're watching the Lego movie. It just switches out the whole movie. It's like, no, I don't think so. I'm going to change this movie.
Nice try, buddy.
Yeah.
Nice try.
That's the new AI processor from Samsung coming out.
I think TVs could definitely be rethought. Like, no USB-C.
Yeah. I think
Right?
what it is basically they're just trying to think of any reason for people to keep buying TVs. They have to keep putting new features, because TVs are big dollar purchases, so people want to make them last longer. So you really got to start baking in a ton of new features if you want to get people to keep upgrading often.
Yeah.
All right. So the next thing is more of a why, or kind of a, that's cool, I guess. Maybe. We'll see. These are called the Tesla suits.
Oh, this is interesting.
Now
Where is this going?
Now, the interesting thing is that they need to get a new name first because it's not at all by the company Tesla.
It's not.
No. It's by some very unoriginal people.
They do what the Boring Company did. Not Tesla. Suit.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. But anyways, I'm actually gonna show you a picture of them because I think. Oh wait, I have a tab open somewhere. If you're listening to this, I'd say Google Tesla suit and look at it. But basically, I'm showing Stetson a picture of it now. They kind of look like a military style suit, like all black suit.
Yeah, it's all black. It looks like it has strategically placed padding.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like shells in it, kind of.
Yeah, it's kind of like a all black bodysuit, and it looks like it has padding for like so you could fall down the stairs and not get hurt. But what that all enables you to do is if you're playing a VR game or something, it can give you haptic feedback over your whole body, and it can actually make you feel warm or cold.
Wait, this is on your worst product? That sounds awesome to me.
It sounds, it's kind of that's cool, but it's like, how applicable is that right now, in the current technology environment? And it's also like, doesn't that remind you a lot of Ready Player One? I don't know if you've seen the movie, Stetson. I just watched it again a couple of weeks ago. But for anyone else out there who has watched it, full body suits that work with VR and make you feel stuff, including in Ready Player One, they have some nice interactions between the main character and a female love interest. And he can feel everything, let me tell you that.
Oh, very interesting.
Yeah, so this made me think, maybe that is our future.
We're hurtling in that direction.
We are, indeed. So,
I don't know. I could see this really playing well with the virtual reality industry that's kind of taking off, where you put on a headset, you're in a huge open space like an airplane hangar or something with a specially designed course, and then you're just interacting in this space. So,
or, I mean, if you're going from Ready Player One, they have these treadmills that basically are multi-directional. So if you're walking, it can figure out what way you're walking and be moving that way. If basically it just gives you the whole idea that you're in that environment.
It's very fascinating.
Yeah. No price on that, no release date. You can go on the website and get a quote from them, but
classic.
Yeah, it's definitely a farther out product, so for sure. Yeah, pretty cool though.
So there you have it.
No, that's not.
That's not it. You have more?
I have more.
Gabe did his research.
I just have a couple quick things. All right. So first of all, this is not quick news. This is quick fails. Yeah. First thing, Samsung Smart Fridge. Can't talk.
Oh, I briefly had that.
You saw this too? All right. So a smart fridge isn't a new thing, and it's probably, I think eventually they'll get enough features in there and people will have to, replace fridges and just go with the smart fridge because it makes sense. But this year they put in an interesting feature that if you leave the door open, guess what? It pings your phone.
And you're just ready for more notifications.
Yeah, but wait, why would it? The thing is like, why can't it just close the door? Right? How did they not think about this? They're like, yeah, what I really wanted to do is send a notification to the person who left it open, when they could just put in the technology to close the door.
Oh my god, that's so interesting.
I know, it's really, there's some tweet on that some Samsung, I think, or CNET sent out, like, in the new smart fridge from Samsung, and the person's like, couldn't they just have made it close the door in some not so nice expletive terms? But yeah, I think that's like this is one of those times when tech designers kind of miss the really easy solution, because they're like, oh yeah, this can just,
they're so focused on notifications and just smartphone incorporation.
Yeah, when sometimes the best thing is just being able to auto close the door. Yeah,
it just comes down to that. All right, next
and final thing, I think, was this the final thing I had? Yeah, the final thing, and I think you've probably heard about this too, was the AT&T swapping out the 4G logo for the 5G logo.
Oh, AT&T, they got trashed on.
Yeah, I think that was probably one of the best things. And then didn't Sprint tweet some comeback or something to that?
Yeah, it was like Sprint and or T-Mobile. And also throwback to an AT&T introduced 4G. What they did is they released a software update to iPhones and just made it say 4G.
Yeah.
Nothing about the actual phone changed. The speeds didn't change. It was just 3G. And I guess AT&T wanted it to be, wow, that was a...
I got a notification.
AT&T wanted to be leading the trend to rebranding?
Yeah. I think 5G, they're trying to make it the next big thing because it's going to supposedly connect, cars connect everything really. And so there's a huge race by the carriers to be the first one to officially be supporting 5G. But yeah, I found the tweet, what T-Mobile tweeted, and they tweeted a video showing a disembodied thumb applying a 9G sticker to one of its smartphones, and it covered up the fact that it was the LTE network. So they're basically saying, like, you can't just put a freaking sticker on it, AT&T, and call.
Which is exactly what AT&T did.
That they were basically doing. And then the other thing I thought that was kind of actually, this was a win, but a fail for other people, was the fact Apple doesn't go to this convention at all. And they threw some major shade at Google and Amazon by putting up a huge billboard in Vegas saying, what was it? What happens on iPhones stays on iPhones, or whatever like that.
Really promoting privacy, and this is something Apple is deeply committed to.
Yeah, basically because Apple is a company that, their main source of revenue isn't selling your information for ads, which is definitely what Google does, and more what Amazon does. So, there's always with them the question of, they're just selling your privacy. They just are taking all your information that they can get, whether you know it or not, and they're going to use it to increase the value of your, of selling you to advertising companies. So, yeah.
I think that was a strong move.
Apple taking all off the gloves and, throwing a punch right up the gut to Google and Amazon.
Right where it hurts.
Right where it hurts, the main revenue source, yeah. So, yeah, that was really it for me on the fails and hows and was and whatever from CES.
Any kind of questionable words you can think of?
Yeah, but overall, I thought it was pretty much. I mean, I was a little underwhelmed, but it was kind of what I was expecting.
I think it's always a fun show. I love seeing the new tech, and there were definitely some interesting announcements this year, and we definitely have products to look forward to.
Yeah, you're gonna basically, this CES sets the gamut down. All right, this is 2019, and then you see which products actually come to fruition, which products are let down, and which products aren't actually even there, but then pop up later in the year.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's pretty much it for this episode. We're trying to keep them a little shorter and not go to that hour mark. So if you want them that long, let us know. If you want them even shorter, we'll try to cut them down in the future. You can follow us on Pinch to Zoom Pod on Twitter, on Instagram, Facebook, if that's a thing still. You can follow us there. MySpace, you can not follow us there.
That's right. We're not on MySpace anymore.
We're not there. We're not on Tumblr. We're not on TikTok. We're not on Snapchat. Yeah, pretty much just the main three: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and of course you can email us, of course, at pinchtozoompodcast@gmail.com. And yeah.
And you can now find the podcast on Apple Podcasts.
On Apple Podcasts, on Google Music, podcasting, whatever that network is. And then hopefully once we hit 5 podcasts, we will be able to submit it to Spotify, and we will be there as well.
So thank you so much for listening, and thank you so much for the support. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode of the show where we talked about CES and technology, and we look forward to the next episode.
Thank you for listening to this podcast. My name is Gabe.
And I'm Stetson.
And this is Pinch to Zoom.